Well, lads, at time of recording, we are officially 2 weeks into the Premier League season. I don't want to spoil things for you, but Man City have won. Congratulations. But we're not here to talk about Man City
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and how
Middle of
and how
August,
they.
it's done.
Yeah, fuck them. You know what? Like they don't deserve our attention, and they're too good. So we are in fact going to talk about the other side of Manchester today because it's gone badly, lads. It's gone really fucking badly. I'll share what I thought their season was going to start off with before they got to the Liverpool game. I thought they were going to get a sneaky, cheeky win against Brighton, like a kind of a 1-0, 2-1, a bit of a bluff win, let's say. And then maybe they could have got a 1-0 against Brentford, something. Again, two bluffy wins is what I thought was going to happen. I thought they're going to lull themselves into false insecurity before they got caught out by Liverpool. But I have to say, thank you very much, Man United, for actually getting ahead of the curve and being shown up immediately before the season started. Like that actually helped out everyone in the long run. So thanks very much for that,
It
lads.
was also quite a surprise because their preseason had been apparently quite good. Now, I thought their preseason was quite marked given the fact that they didn't actually. Normally, teams in preseasons, they kind of play their B-ish, the kind of B team. But
Yeah.
United didn't. It was literally full strength teams up for almost every single game. In particular, the one
Yeah.
against Liverpool, where Liverpool rotated, I think, something like 33 players.
We played three different teams in 30-minute bouts.
Yeah,
So
three
like
different teams. So
yeah,
three entirely different starting 11s over the course of 90 minutes, whereas United barely changed a single player. And it was literally the team that they started the
against
season
Brighton,
with.
yeah.
Uh,
I should note as well, like in that match in particular, because obviously it was made so much made about it. The like United were in training a week before us, so we're still in our fitness regime as opposed to say United who are now starting to work on a tactic system. But as we've learned from the last two games, apparently they haven't done either. So I'm not sure what they were doing with that week.
it's really something else. Like
Mm.
I
Of
have
all
just
my wildest dreams, I don't think I could have picked a better start for United for me. Like
Yeah,
I would have, me, I'm the classic pessimist. I don't actually get, but like this is just pure joy. Um,
really is,
it,
yeah.
it really fucking is. Yeah,
like we said this ourselves, like they hadn't made the signings that they clearly wanted to, which is
yeah.
great for us. Lol, laugh at them. The
Mm.
signings that they did make, we were like, okay, good luck with that. And most of their players want out of there, or they're trying to build a team around Scott McTominay, and
Oh,
that's just that's like trying to build your house on a puddle. Like, it's just kind of fucking leak shit everywhere.
yeah.
It's just, but like you're looking at those three things going into the season, and you're like, okay, this, I don't think this is gonna be a great season. I had them, I think, the lowest in our season predictor. Um,
I do believe you said they were going to be 10th, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
10th, yeah.
so yeah, and I'm like, I was kind of like, that is,
Yeah,
top
10th.
goals for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on track. Like I'm on track to actually be, somewhat accurate with this. Two games in. Again, me pessimistically, I'm
Yes.
not gonna get too excited about this. Probably
No,
looking as
this
soon
is
as they
absolutely the
turn
right
up to the
time to
Emirates
jump to
now, they'll
conclusions.
fucking
I
trash
agree.
us. They'll remember how to play football and
Oh yeah, I'm fully on board with I think Andrew Allen on Twitter. I think I'm fully on board with his assertion that we're all looking forward to Arsenal breaking United's losing streak. I think we played them 4th of September or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fully looking forward to them absolutely just destroying us. Or because we'll do what we always do in that game. We'll go in, we'll play the badge, we'll play the history,
Mm.
yeah.
we'll play the name, not the players. I don't like pointing it out, but whenever everybody turns around and goes, "Oh man, Arsenal, you're gonna stuff them," and even on the times when we do actually stuff them, I always have the splinter of a reminder lodged in my brain that I can't get rid of, saying that we never beat the David Moyes incarnation of this team.
Oh,
Like all of the Moyes,
that's a
all of the years that Moyes, all of it seems like decades, but time is relative.
Mm.
All of the years of the Moyes regime, we never once beat that team.
Mm.
So I'm just like, I don't count any chickens before they
No.
hatch at
I
all,
recall Van Gaal being
particularly when it
our
comes to playing
for a long
Manchester
time.
United. Now, thankfully, this could be different, but I think to be honest with you, like the press have really got the knives out, but they've got the knives out really creatively. Whereas whenever they come after Arsenal or Liverpool, they're kind of really clumsy about how they go about it. It's really like none of this is really researched. Most of it contradicts the first bit. The second bit contradicts the first bit. It's really slapdash, you know. There's no heart into it. But my God, when they go for United, fucking hell. I think what was it? Jonathan Wilson in the Guardian. One of the sentences. Fucking read this. At Brentford on Saturday, United were decked out in Stabilo green, as though somebody highlighted where all the problems were. What the fuck? Like, it's like fucking emotional damage.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, oh man, it's just unbelievable. But he's absolutely true. Like, there's not a single bit of this side that works. There's no confidence. Everybody hates each other. Ronaldo seems to be sitting on some kind of time bomb of an announcement, which is going to go off in 2 weeks, which I think is due to coincide with the end of the transfer window.
Yes.
So I think he's basically just issued an ultimatum to the club, which is get me out of here to a Champions League club, or I'm going to blow the lid off this motherfucker. You know, and you're going to have to put up with me until at least January. Which, by the way, I really, really hope happens. Like, because oh my God, that toxic tinderbox is going to go up.
So let's dissect this not necessarily the Brighton result, because the Brighton result was a fair cop, but Brentford was a unique disaster piece in my view. Like, because for one, like, you know, we were all watching it. Funny enough, we were all in the same room when it happened, so it wasn't as if we all had one of us had an acid dream and the rest of us just playing along. We were all saw this happening live. I couldn't help but notice that, like, obviously there was two kind of like major points there that very clearly end up being the wrong answer, which was to play Lisandro Martinez, who weirdly enough wasn't actually the worst part of their defense, considering he's now like the meme.
Harry Maguire.
The slabhead is that, but it was more Luke Shaw over Malacia as well. But the main talking point was Ericsson playing number 6, and you had Ronaldo then playing up front. So those are the two big changes, because he didn't want to basically come out with, I think it was McTominay who was dropped, and obviously Ronaldo comes in then to play as the actual striker. And it was actually impressive to see the two tactical switches you made from, say, your match analysis of Brighton. How do we lose the Brighton game? Essentially, was this and this. Okay, so to fix that, we're going to do this and this. And then literally half an hour into the game, you're 3-0 down. At that point, you're thinking, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done that. But I found it absolutely remarkable how so very quickly they got found out. You know, from Brentford, who, like, again, are no slouches tactically. There's a lot of teams on mid-table that are tactically really fucking sharp and kind of underestimated, really.
I would add something a wee bit onto that. I would say that one of the two things, in addition to those two things, which obviously playing Ericsson as a 6 was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Playing Ronaldo up front when you really want the team to press is also a terrible idea, because every time you tell him to press, he looks at you funny and goes, no. I think the third one is the persistence with having De Gea play out from the back.
Yes.
I've never seen somebody more uncomfortable on a ball in my entire life. Like, it's bewildering to me that he's a professional footballer. Like, he is actually the least, statistically, he is the least passing goalkeeper in the league. I think last season, like, I think he was like 15% off the next nearest person to him. He just punts it. He's a fantastic shot stopper. He's got mercurial reflexes, as every Arsenal person knows. Turns to do his Doc Octopus thing against us. But he can't play out from the back. He just can't fucking do it. He cannot do it. He hasn't been able to do it for years, by the way. Yeah. This isn't something that we've just figured out now. But they constantly do it. Obviously, I know why they lie about it. They're obviously not going to come out and go, yeah, well, our keeper's bollocks with the ball at his feet. But we're going to persist with it because that's why teams play. It's just awful. But
like, just to jump on that, it's like their insistence of playing that format when you're going to stick with De Gea in goal which is clearly not a strength. But I don't understand how someone can be a professional footballer for 4 years with a team playing around them in a style that doesn't suit them. Like, would you not work on it? It doesn't look like he's worked on it. And I know, like, I just don't see any progression. Like, I would see, like, you look at
Yeah, if
Leno
anything, he's getting
last
worse at it.
year.
No.
Like, Leno wasn't great at playing out from the back, but he got better. Like, he was not terrible at it. He was pretty woeful at it when we started the whole kind of let's play out from the back thing. But I could see progression. He didn't reach Rambo levels, but there was at least progression. Whereas De Gea, like, whether it's a confidence thing or like, it literally looks like he's never practiced this in his life, and it's the first time ever he's had to. But then, right, just on his defense, okay. So I was thinking about this: is like, how does he not get better at this over and over? And being in this position, you look at who do you trust when you have to kick out this ball, and when you've got your options of Harry Maguire or whatever other fucker is poor Sod is trying to partner him in centre defence, they're your two options. I'd rather
you have Harry Maguire
stuff it.
and would have been the Sandro Martinez. So those are your two options there who are too far out. And you got Ericsson playing at number 6 with his back to the field. You know,
that's not the Gea's fault in that instance. The defender should be in a position to receive the ball.
Yeah. And not leave Ericsson with a guaranteed hospital ball to get. So he's not going to press immediately. He doesn't lose the ball.
I understand also, but Ericsson's touch was bad in that one as well, because he actually tries to get the ball on the fly and flick it round your man, but winds up actually flicking it to the side the guy is actually on. So he's just hit it into him. That's where the goal comes from. Yeah, it's a hospital pass and he needs to do better. We know De Gea won't. But it's weird. Like, there is a reason why the last game he played for Spain was like October 2 years ago. Like, he's not played for Spain for fucking ages, because Luis Enrique is like, no, the goalkeeper must start the attack.
Yeah, but I'm on that point. You see, I think like this is probably the first manager in quite some time where, actually, I don't recall ever seeing a United manager asking for the goalkeeper to play, in a sense, because I think Rangnick's system was more just on high pressure. It was a German style, so it wasn't necessarily needed a ball to feet. And Solskjaer didn't ask for that, and nor did I think did Mourinho or Van Gaal. So like, this is the first time in a while, in a long time, that he was looking for a ball playing goalkeeper. It actually was reminiscent of Petr Cech when Emery came in, where like, Petr Cech, one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, hands down. But don't ask him to play with the ball to his feet. It's the game has evolved beyond him, and that's kind of the fear for De Gea. Great goalkeeper in his day, but surely it hasn't gone past him. He's not fucking over the hill or anything like that. It's just that, like, Ten Hag is asking for something he physically can't do, and nor can his players at that point. Really, they look tactically out of their depth against Brentford. Yeah,
it's just their total inability to deal with a simple with a fairly high energy press.
High press, yeah.
And it's just they were just totally unable to do it. I mean, holy fuck, like, like it was unbelievable.
Yeah. And
just having Lisandro Martinez, like, I have to say one thing, there was many things that I enjoyed about that performance. But my God, when United gazumped us, in inverted commas there, for Martinez, like, a few people kind of got onto me and went, oh, like, United might have swagged him off you. Oh, you might regret that. My God, am I not regretting that? I actually sent all their messages straight back to them going, well, do you think I regret it now? And they're like, fucking hell. How could be so bad? Why we use it for him if he's this fucking bad? Like, what the fuck is going on? I was like,
we were going to bump up his price that United would pay more for him.
To be honest with you, I'd love to think that that was just kind of like what City did to get United to sign Ronaldo. Like, oh, we're going in for him. We're going in for him. You're going nowhere near this motherfucker. We've got Haaland on the way. But no, what I said to them was that we were going to play Martinez as a left back, primarily either as a left back or as a left 8 in that midfield. That's where he was going to go. We're playing Zinchenko. That's where we were going to play Martinez. There is absolutely no fucking way. I do not believe for a microsecond that Arteta looked at Martinez and went, yeah, he can do a job at centre back. Fuck no. All right. We've got Gabriel Magalhaes, who's a unit. We've got Ben White, who's also quite big. Then we've got Saliba, who's just huge. It's like,
Supreme.
why on
Yeah.
earth would we? It's like, and even Holding's a big fucking guy. It's like, why the fuck would we sign Martinez? Who's, I think the next nearest person to him in that centre back pairing is like 6 inches taller than him. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you bother? Like, that makes no fucking sense. But United buy him and slot him straight in alongside Harry Maguire, and I'm going, oh, this isn't going to go well. And no, I did not think for a second it was going to go as badly as it did. But my God, like, it was Ben Mee, wasn't it? That fucking
Outmuscled them, yeah.
So yeah, the giant of a man.
yeah. So, but Mee must have been
6'3", Ben Mee, by the way. he's my height. He's not that big. Like,
But Mee must have been looking at him, going,
Well, look from the image
don't even
of
have
him
to
on the
jump.
screen, he could have been.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
Didn't he just crouch? Didn't he squat down?
Yes.
I had to actually make myself smaller to get to that cross. But it was just terrible. I was like, holy shit, you know. And
It does make you question the logic, though. Like, I mean, in a year,
It's
like
not.
this is how far away United are from everyone else, right? You have see every other club in the Premier League, and what the one kind of theme you've seen from everyone else is they've bought themselves a target man. City have got Haaland, Liverpool have got Nunez, and even all the way down the league, they're looking at getting a 6-foot striker. They're trying to get big people in as an option. Like the target man is starting to get a bit of a renaissance because their link-up play has also kind of been missed, especially in England. So what the United do is to buy a 5'9" player and play him as a centre back. When clearly, even in United, sure, would you not have him in the midfield and replace McTominay? Is his passing that bad that you can't use him in that sense? You have to use him as a defender and just hope that nothing goes above his head. And it's a good thing Nunez got sent off on Monday, or else like Zandro would have a serious fucking problem with him. Now he just has to deal with Salah, Diaz, Jota, Mane, and everyone else in the team. So he's grand. What's going to happen for them?
No, what they're going to do is they do what they did there because they had to market Ben Mee, which went well. So what they're going to do, you'll field Firmino and they'll have him mark Firmino, you know. And Firmino is huge and it can actually leap like a fucking salmon. Like Firmino's going to be all we're going to see is just these glittering pearly whites smiling as he towers over this fucking man again and again and again. It's going to be brilliant. Yeah. You'll never see Firmino happier. You're going to love it. We love a bit of happy Bubby.
I do love a bit of happy Firmino. You're right. But I mean, I suppose the fallout from the match has hilariously been the culture wars, if I can call it that, about the transfers. Whose fault is it at Manchester United? Will we all take like kind of a case for and against everyone else? So like the Glazers.
Okay. I'm going to go first.
You're going to go first.
Sir Alex is such a narcissist that he wanted the only glory days United ever have when he was in charge. And so therefore burnt to the ground afterwards so that he is still the pinnacle. That's working.
Yeah. No, and that's very. The worst thing is like every time I think I actually said it to my girlfriend over the weekend that whenever something bad happens to United, especially at home, the first thing they do is find Alex Ferguson in the crowd to watch him like angrily chew gum. I was just thinking like, would someone tell him to leave? Is he always there? Like he's clearly sticking another place. And then I learned, I think it was on The Athletic, they said, oh, now since Rangnick has been in charge, now that Ten Hag is in, they now have a committee of Man United legends that are consulting with Ten Hag about the culture of the club. And Ferguson is, of course, one of the 3 people on that committee. Lads, that's not a committee. That's a group of men. That is not a committee, okay? I think Brian Robson is the other one. I can't remember who the other person is in that. But they're all people who've lived and bred Manchester United. It's like Ten Hag doesn't give a shit. He wants Ajax's greatest hits. That you've brought him in to do that. He is a product of the Dutch system. You need to either kowtow to him, but he's not kowtowing to you. So like, what do you want? You can't have it both ways. Like I do, for what it's worth, I do feel that Ten Hag was a bit to blame for the Brentford loss itself, for just having. For having really stupid tactics and expecting either Brentford to be nice about it or to his players to just suddenly get it. His players don't get it. They don't know what they're doing half the time. The training is not strong enough. And hilarious enough having to bring them in on a Sunday after the match to get them to run the difference between them and United or them and Brentford. Hilarious. I love it. But
it was like 13.8 kilometers, wasn't it?
13.8 kilometers exactly, yeah. So they're going to run that exact distance, and it's like suicide run. So it's up and down sprints all the way up just to make up that distance. I'm just thinking like that's just not
Like
going to
that.
ingratiate you guys. These guys have egos the size of fucking houses, especially Ronaldo and his camp, you know. So it's just not going to go well for them. But I think hilarious enough, the actual transfer shenanigans I think has been my favorite part of this because literally everyone is being linked to them. I think I can't remember if it was before it was after the Brighton or the Brentford game where they had the link to Marco Arnautovic. And I'm thinking, oh, you cannot be serious. Like that is this starts. Is this what you want to bring in as your strike force? Like someone who has gotten trouble multiple times for potentially being a nationalist, a white nationalist. No, no, that's not what you want at all. But like, fucking hell, like, and then all the other players, everyone that's been linked to United are all basket cases, and you're thinking, lads, this is a football team, not fucking dream team, all right? You're not bringing in the soap opera here. You want to reduce the soap opera, you know? Like, what's even funnier is that like everyone that like because that now we have like the transfer shenanigans now, and I don't know if this is like damage limitation or this is just a way of getting the headlines off everything else, but every transfer target is a nutcase. Like we just said on Arnautovic there, like you've got Rabiot, you've got Icardi, Aubameyang, who let's be honest, I'd rather keep at Barca. Like all these players, like are these the ones you want to add to an already toxic environment? You want to put Mauro Icardi in the same dressing room as Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo, and you want to put Adrian
They
Rabiot in
want to
there as
be
well.
as big as PSG, which also means they want to be as insane as PSG.
Mm.
Um, Look, maybe they're looking at, well, Pogba's gone and maybe Ronaldo's on the way out. We need these big fucking egos to take over.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing. Like, it's funny because like they blamed a lot of this on Ed Woodward once upon a time. They all said like, "Oh yeah, it's all about the brand recognition and all this sort of jazz." It actually isn't. It was never about Ed Woodward at all. It actually ended up being the fact that the Man United just do not know how to put a team together. They've never had a plan, and they still don't. And the maybe it's something I'm kind of reading too much into as well, but I think it's very easy to blame just the Glaziers. I know, I think the United supporters group called it's like the fish rots from the head and sort of stuff like that. And for what it's worth, I think some of that can be true. Like they like owners can set the culture of the club sometimes, whatever ambitions they have. But they're not just to blame, and I think it's just easy enough to put it just on them. I know like Gary Neville has been going kind of like ham lately on blaming them for it, and I'm thinking like that's a bit of an easy answer because you don't want to blame your mates still playing at the club. Why don't you have a go Ronaldo for not putting a shift in? Why don't you blame Harry Maguire for being one of the worst captains I've ever fucking seen?
oh my
Like
God.
birth out for a
From,
football
from,
team.
from someone who had William Gallas as the captain of her club, I fucking laugh at Maguire being made a
But
captain.
But that's the thing. Like you look at other captaincies being changed over. Like I think Xhaka was a terrible captain. You guys have now brought in Odegaard. We're thinking like, okay, he's had a year or two to settle in the club. He probably epitomizes what you want from the team. That's a good shout. Even Aston Villa, there's a big fucking like a mini row between Aston Villa and the press about like how dare you take the captaincy of Tyrone Mings, and Jared's going, why? John McGinn is better tactically. I'm going to keep him. I'm going to use him. He's going to play every game where Mings has an injury record. It makes fucking sense. When you have Maguire, Harry Maguire does not have the same leadership skills as someone like Ronaldo or Bruno Fernandes. So when you have him above them in the leadership category, that is going to fail miserably. He's going to get undermined completely. And he
Just to
gets
play a
undermined
wee,
all the time.
just to play a bit, we be a wee bit of a devil's advocate here.
I
I think it's
love when you play
unfair.
that.
I think it's unfair to all this blame on Maguire.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely not. No.
he can't press, he can't play out from the back, he couldn't outrun a turtle, he can't
Mm.
tackle, he can't turn, he can't defend the set piece. The thing is, look at the fucking idiots he's got to work alongside, in front of, and in behind. They're all just as guilty. Like even Van Dijk will look like a twat in this team.
Yeah.
Like
Oh no, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely fair. And I think, like I said, there's a malaise in the club that runs so deep. But again, it's me perhaps reading too much into it. But I think it's so easy, especially with the Liverpool game coming up, and there's been big rumblings about a massive supporter walkout, as in like empty stadium for the biggest match of the year, essentially. And I feel like it's such a convenient kind of like way of calming everyone down to going like, hey, look, we're gonna try and get Casemiro. You know him. We're still in for Frankie de Jong. You know him, don't you?
Frankie
Or
de
you're like,
Jong,
oh,
holy shit! Like we were talking about, like all their best players want out of the club and shit like that. It's like
yeah.
one of the better players they're in for is fighting tooth and nail not to go there. Like
Hmm.
it's just now. Obviously, there's other reasons to why he doesn't want to go to United, because in going to United, he'll have to forego nearly 17 million euros worth of fucking wages, which
I would want that to be fair. Yeah.
spoken about. But the thing is, like, there's just no sense. There's no rhyme nor reason to any of their transfers. It's just all social media FC. Signing
Hmm.
Casemiro for fucking what, 60 million, and they're going to double his wages.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, double his wages is 10 million euros after tax.
Hmm.
Year. Like, the fuck? He's 30 years old. He's not wanted by his club, his club now, because they're bringing in this more youthful midfield, who all of whom are actually, you know, in all fairness to a 5-time Champions League winner, are all already better than him. So he's not going to get minutes, and they want to pay 60 million fucking quid for him. I was like, lads, come on, like what the fuck, like. Where's your head at? Constantly going in. What was it? Fofana, or is that Chelsea that are going in for
The
Fofana?
Chelsea are going for Fofana, but United were linked initially, and then they got priced out of it.
But like
They went for
Chelsea are going to be
Martinez
priced
instead.
out of it because Brendan Rodgers is sitting there going, no, not even for 75 million. It's like,
To be fair, they did sell Harry Maguire for 75 million, so I can see his point. Is if they're going to get 74 for that fucking Egypt, you don't get 80 for Fofana at least.
yeah, but
Like,
Fofana's actually a good defender. Like they kind of recognised that without, I think Leicester kind of recognised that without Morgan telling him what to do
I know,
all the
yeah.
time. He's not that good a defender. He can't work autonomously. Like if you've got somebody going, go there, Harry, get him, Harry, stop that, Harry, head that, Harry, hit that. He's like, oh yeah, he'll go and do that. He's great for that, but like he doesn't have anybody like that at United. In fact, he's meant to be the
Because
person
he's
doing
meant
that.
to, yeah, he's meant to be the one doing
Yeah.
that.
You know, and there's nobody alongside him who will surreptitiously take out over that role, because Varane, great defender though he was the Maguire of the Real Madrid team, because it was Sergio Ramos alongside him telling him who to hit, who to run, who to track, and who to smash up. So there's nobody else there at the fucking team. Boy, he's not going to do it.
No.
This is crazy. Like, it's insane. Like, the team's been put together by 4 different managers, none of whom seem to have any clue what they were doing.
Yeah.
Well, 3 didn't have a clue what they were doing. 1, Rangnick, didn't give a fuck what he was doing because he was only in there for a year. He didn't give
was already paid.
Shit. Like, he was just like, I am here to get paid. And even then, he was actually quite brutally honest about the team. He's like, yeah, we need about 9 players. And he got slated for saying that. But then now people are like, no, you don't need 9, you need 11.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and then they want to
that's it,
sell
like,
off one of their good midfielders for 14 million quid. I was like, you fucking serious? Play Garner. Don't fucking sell him, you dickhead.
Yeah.
Play him.
Like Joe Garner is literally the replacement, the upgrade on McTominay that you need. He ran the Nottingham Forest midfield last season. He helped get them promoted, and like we will talk about that as far as like at some stage next week. But the fact that they had got to the Premier League with such a threadbare, lonely team was an accomplishment. But it's because of the likes of Joe Garner, or James Garner, sorry, and you cannot look at Scott McTominay and then compare him with James Garner and say that one is superior to the other. It's fucking chalk and cheese. In the same way that you can't look at,
you know?
And Fred, absolutely, you're right. But even then, you can't look at some of the other players that they have that's been like kind of floating around. Going, you either are going to shit or get off the pot. You want to sell, get rid of Phil Jones, get rid of Eric Bailly, just do it. You don't have any loyalty to these players. In the same way that
Is
they got
Phil
rid of Dean
Jones
Henderson.
still there? Is he still
Phil
alive?
Jones is still there. Yes.
What?
But that's my point. You still have players there. They gave Eric Bailly a year contract to protect his worth. But that doesn't work if you give him a 1-year contract. You need 3. And there's no chance in hell you're going to give him a 3-year contract because his legs will fucking explode at any time. So, like, you're screwed either way. You either let go of the players and take the loss, like some clubs like Arsenal have done, or you just are willing to deal with the mediocrity. And that's, to me, is the issue. You have people in the club who want to be top 4 team, but are not willing to put the work into it. And then you have everyone just with complete delusions of what United meant to be. It's not that club anymore, lads. You're struggling to get 6th place now at this stage.
Yeah, it's weird. And also he like Ten Hag as well, like does have to bear some sort of the blame for this.
Yep.
Because he's been pushing them to sign players and he isn't playing them. Like, he's not played the Feyenoord defender that he signed.
Last year,
That dynamic little left back that he signed. He's playing Ericsson out of position. All right, Martial got injured, but fucking like he's not a new signing. His loan's just ended, and apparently he was in good shape and he looked quite shit hot in the preseason, yada yada yada. But then so did the rest of the team. They looked quite good in the preseason, and look what happened there. They've shipped 6 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
No, so it's just fucking like I've no idea. Like it seems that like nobody at the club has any idea what they're doing. It's really really weird. Like it like if Manchester United were like a producer style fuck up, like let's see how badly we can run a football club, I think they'd actually have to tone down the casting because it's gone overboard. Like this is like literally from the top down. Nobody has an absolute breeze what they're doing.
I would even throw like obviously it's me. I'm gonna throw in the women's team here. They have been steadily going well for themselves. They've got themselves some good signings, and then they go and sign Nikita Paris, from Arsenal. Nikita Paris had they're buying the name Nikita Paris. And Nikita Paris, based on form, do not know how she's gotten a move because I think she didn't score a goal in the WSL. Or no, she did score 1 goal in the WSL. And she had 1 assist. And then she had other goals in other competitions. But like she just had she wasn't suited to the style of play that Ida Val played, but that at the and I'm not saying she's a bad player because she didn't suit his style, but it was just they've gone out and got a big name signing that I don't know necessarily how that suits into their style. Like they've got Alicia Russo and Ella Toon, who are 2 of the Euro's biggest name players, who've got this amazing partnership, like up in the forward line. They've got like Leah Galton, who genuinely scares me whenever we play against her because she's a brilliant player when she's on form, which is exactly Nikita Paris's issue. It's like if they're on form, unbeatable, but it's the case of getting them on form. So Mark Skinner has taken a huge gamble, and the club, United Club, have taken a huge gamble in buying Nikita Paris because she would have been be bought out of her contract because we signed her on a multi-year contract when we did sign her.
Yeah, like a 3-year deal or something like that, and they bought her after her first one or something like that.
And I just think they're buying the name, and again, like they've been linked with a couple of names over the summer, whether I don't know how well they're actually.
They signed Tonkara from Atletico Madrid. That's
and they were linked with Hertig, I saw, and they were in talks with someone, and again, I think it was just a Twitter rumor. But like some big names, but I'm like, where are they getting the money? Where are they getting the gall to try and go for these players? But it's obviously just a whole club thing, whole club initiative. And like, look, you've got to commend them for being shit everywhere, but
no,
equality, like.
Such steadfast determination to shitness has to be commended even at a basic effort level. You're like, they're not putting the effort in on the pitch, but off the pitch, my God, the mediocrity is rife and I'm loving it. Regards to the women's team, they can go fuck themselves because they flogged off Diane Caldwell, represent for my home girl. She went to Reading, was it?
Reading,
yeah. Reading, I actually think that's a good move for her because Reading need some solid defenders there.
Yeah. Well, it's any move away from Manchester United now is pretty good. They're sort of like the craggy island of football. As long as you're moving away from them, you're heading in the right direction.
And Father Alex Ferguson really fits in there, doesn't it? Fat Gareth, drink boots.
Yeah. He's running around beating up the youth players with a hurl.
Water.
But that's just it. It's like United have just no idea from the top down. I think the supporters group that's planning the huge walkout for the Liverpool game, and they've hit the nail on the head. Funnily enough, nail on the head, saying the fish rots from the head, and it really is. It's a top down thing. But like to try not point blame to any one person sort of to miss the point. It's kind of like a general infected malaise where nobody has any clue what they're doing and nobody has any ability to implement anything that's a good idea. And it's just hilarious. And any good ideas that do come along are immediately sabotaged. So when Ole kind of recognized the limitations of the team, so he had them set up quite well. They would sit back, absorb pressure, and hit the brake. And then they go and they force Ronaldo on him. I was like, oh, well, you know what? That's not going to work for him. How the fuck are you? This guy's not going to hit in the brake because hitting the brake means sprinting 60 fucking meters. And he's not going to do that because he's conserving his energy all the time because he won't be able to score goals if he's tired. You've got a guy who won't train.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck are you doing? Ole, right, it wasn't superb, brilliant football, but they were winning games. They were doing reasonable. They were doing fuckload better than what they are now. But it's just crazy. It's like, this works. Let's fuck with it.
Yeah,
it's mad. There's no desire to improve anything. It's crazy, and I love it. I absolutely fucking love it. Long may this rain. I want Ronaldo's little bombshell that he's going to drop at the end of the transfer window. I want him to just actually, going back to the Father Ted analogy, I want it to be his equivalent of Father Crilly's, the Golden Cleric Award speech. He was like, and now onto liars. That's what I want. These are a list of people who really fecked me off since I've been here. I've only been here like fucking a year, man. What the fuck? Yeah. Well, it is a little prick. He spent 20 minutes reaming out Harry Maguire, and
really small things, just things that annoy Ronaldo in particular.
Really small things. Doesn't completely gloss over his total lack of ability and the fact that no reasonable person would trust that man to lead them into a fucking chorus. But let alone out to a football pitch. But yeah, he'll criticize his hairstyle or some shit like that, But that's it. It's just United, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every single bit of it. It's pure Schadenfreude, particularly for an Arsenal fan, because we were in this situation 3-4 years ago.
And also, we're going to reverse it when we play them and let them win, due to a Saliba own goal and a red card from Xhaka.
Yeah. A red card from Xhaka after he is tackled by McTominay.
Yeah, exactly.
McTominay will crash through the back of his ankles, breaking at least 3 of them. And then the ref will go, how dare you do that to this man's studs? Look at them. They're covered in blood now. He's going to have to change his boots. Off to the showers with you. And he will send off the people who come on with a stretcher because he's like, you're wasting time now. And
time wasting.
He will actually send off the medical staff. They will get red cards for wasting time.
Yeah,
Xhaka has to limp off on 2 bloody stumps.
He'd be dragged off by his hair because that's not a foul.
Exactly, that's no longer a foul now. Yeah, so let it flow, baby. Let it flow.
Absolutely. I mean, I too welcome this carnival of shambles, considering the next match they have is Liverpool at Old Trafford.
Although I will admit, we were talking about it earlier. The goal bridge thing is like, look, he's not happy about it. He's kind of sort of happy that he won't have to deal with fucking Nunez. Although to be perfectly honest with you, it's not really a good sign for your brand shiny new £80 million signing that when he gets sent off, your team play markedly better.
Yes.
That's not really a good sign. But as we were saying, if Luis Diaz is on the one he's on now, hopefully he's still got that chip on his shoulder.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice. That would be hilarious to watch that United backline trying to contain him when he's on that kind of form. I'm happy. I don't know why. I think it's the Arsenal pessimist, but I don't think it's going to be the drubbing it is. Although, even though I've staked my FF team on it, I think I still have both Trent, Robertson, and Salah in my team. And I'm just like, come on, you got to stuff these guys. I was banking on he's absolutely whopping the first 2 teams he's came up against. I was like, oh, come on, don't let Old Gill down. So I'm banking on Manchester United being the Calico that just rusts up on you.
Let's hope so. One can only hope.